Hello guys, how you doing today? This is my first video about news, and I think it's kind of substantial and it's kind of important because Facebook is doing something really big and really scary in many ways about the news. This article is from Wired magazine. They're a technology magazine, and it says Facebook finally gets real about fighting fake news. And that's a little biased of a headline, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Basically, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, they've created an algorithm to scan fake news, and that allows people to report news articles that they see online as fake. And it's going to be looked over by this independent group they're calling. So the group is made up of Snopes, FactCheck.org, ABC News, the Associated Press, PolitiFact, and all members of Haunters International Fact Checking. And it's just it's odd, guys. They've made this big deal about fake news, but it's kind of demeaning in ways that they think that their public isn't really smart enough to realize what's fake and not fake. I mean, everybody, or a vast majority of people that knows how to use Facebook, knows how to Google things and knows how to look up and research information. And if not, then that's a big problem. But not to mention, Facebook has been known, groups like Facebook, websites like YouTube, Google, they've been known to promote certain stories that they kind of want to promote and subdue certain stories, especially YouTube videos, where they'll subdue certain YouTube videos, not let them get views. I've had a problem with a couple people that I'm subscribed to not getting notified of their new videos, and I'll have to turn on my notifications 3-4 times before I even start getting notified, and they still get shut off at some point. This I thought was really weird too, and this guy, Eugene Kelly, director of FactCheck.org, and he says, before you share a story, you might want to know that independent fact checkers disputed its accuracy. The group also research and write news stories based on what's trending on Facebook. So they're also going to start writing their own news stories that are considered factually true, but only to the extent that we have the resources and it fits our mission. That's the scary part. It's got to fit their mission and what they want to do with the world or with the public. And what is their mission? Nobody knows really what their mission is. It's kind of disturbing, and I think it's just scary at all when you start deciding, or a group of a handful of companies and people start telling you what information is true and what information is false, what information is right, what information is wrong to believe, what information the smart people believe, and what information, the crazies believe. Because the one way to discredit someone is just say that they're too stupid or crazy to know what's going on. And that's what they've kind of tried to do with alternative news sites, is if they can just discredit them, if they can put them out and say these people don't know what's going on, then they can kind of just try to sweep it under the rug, and no one really realizes that all news is fake to some degree. All news, even if they don't give you, or even if they give you certain facts, they only give you about half the facts and half the story, and they all spin it in a certain way. all major media outlets, at least MSNBC, CNN, Fox News too, they all have an agenda, and they all do what they need to do. So do what they want. I want to talk about the title, Facebook finally gets real about fighting fake news, because they're real about it, and they've got to do it. It's been too long, guys. This is from Wired magazine. So I looked up, the owners of Wired are this group Condé Nast, or Condé Nast, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but they're an American mass media company founded in 1909. They own and run all these different magazines: Bon Appetit, Golf Digest, The New Yorker, Pitchfork, the Music Magazine, Vogue, Teen Vogue, Wired, and most interestingly, Reddit, who recently decided to take down the all the stuff about Pizzagate on the Reddit website because they considered that fake news. Even though a lot of that, while some people were making very large justifications and outlandish, judgments, there's a lot of weird stuff in there and a lot of circumstantial evidence that needs to be looked at. A lot of spooky stuff. But what's even weirder about this Condé Nast group is they're owned by Advanced Publications. And if we click on their Wikipedia page, they have a lot of stuff in other networks, 13% in Charter Communications, Bright House Network just merged with Charter, a 31% stake in Discovery Communications, and then if we scroll down to all the different newspapers and websites that they own, look at this. They own lots of newspapers in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Massachusetts, all over the country. Lots of news websites. Tons in New Jersey. New Jersey's a pretty small state, too. Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, Oregon. Lots of business journals, magazines. And so we wonder why all our news kind of sounds the same, and they all kind of give us the same ideas. And you do have two major sides, but a lot of their credibility comes from just pointing fingers at the other side and what the other side does wrong. And so what I like to say is, if you really want to know what Fox News is up to, or you want to know what Trump's up to, go to a liberal news organization. If you want to know what Hillary's up to and Obama and the liberal news networks, watch a conservative website or a news source, because it doesn't really give them any more credibility, but they're always going to be strong about pointing out the faults of each other. And if we look, Wired is owned, or this group Advanced Publications owns all these different news sources, and it just creates like a fog of information, because really all of our news is owned by a handful or a small group of people, and maybe that's why they're coming out so strong against alternative news, because people are finally catching on that just because something's on TV or it's on the news network on TV doesn't make it true. And they're starting to find out it's a lot easier and a lot better to get your news online and on YouTube or wherever you can find it. You just got to do the research. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you think. Do you think that it's a good thing that they're finally cracking down on these fake news stories, or do you think it could actually lead to something a lot bigger and a lot more damning? So, uh, thanks. If you like this, subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos soon. And have a wonderful day.